And we are back at the M1 Cycling Classic at the M1 Concourse Racetrack in Pontiac, Michigan. This is the second race of the day for me. This is the Cat 3-4 race. It took place about 45 minutes after the Cat 4 race, which I took first in. And it's my third race in 2 days. I had done the elimination race the day before and had taken part in the Fondo on the track the day before as well. So my legs going into this one definitely were feeling it. I was pretty fatigued at this point. I had kind of gone into this one thinking, I'd sit in the back for most of it. If a teammate needed me to do something, either pull them back or they wanted me to attack to do something, like if there was some communication, they wanted me to do it. And here I make a joke. I got two guys, two teammates on the front that are leading us out in this first lap. So I make a joke asking if they're trying to give our sponsor some TV time. I'm always the guy who wants to sit in a draft. I would never be on front. So, and I started this. I just made a count. I started this race in my small ring, not my big ring. So I was spinning out on the first lap here. But yeah, so for this race, I really just wasn't expecting to do anything. Like I said, my teammates wanted me to do something specific. I'm there to help them, but I'm exhausted for this race. So not really looking to do anything. There's a couple times throughout this race I thought about pulling off and just DNFing. I'd won the race that I really cared about just a little bit before, so really wasn't looking to do much here. In terms of people, there's quite a few of the same racers from the previous Cat 4 race, with definitely some new Cat 3 racers added in. A couple of Cat 4s who didn't race in the Cat 3 also joined this one. Okay, so we kind of settled in. We're here on the back stretch now. I'm happy to kind of sink to the back of the group and not really do a ton of work to try to sit in the pack and see what develops. So as people pass me, I'm definitely good for a long time to do that. Okay, so we cut ahead just a half a lap or so in, and we'll just stay here for just a second. I just want to highlight, one key difference that I definitely felt and throughout the Cat 3-4 race versus the Cat 4 race. Pretty much every single time through this hairpin turn, it really is a full sprint out of this in this race. So you can see, absolutely having to hammer down, get into the 1,000-watt range just to get back onto these wheels. And had to do this pretty much every single lap, whereas in the Cat 4 race, maybe every 3 laps or so, every 4 laps, there'd be this kind of hard start. I just made a joke here to Willie. He came up right on my inside, and I'm still a little skittish on being super close to people. I've rubbed elbows, and I don't crash. That part doesn't bother me, but I'm not trying to get real close to people. And Willie came right on my outside, so I said, no fear, and he said, no way. I gotta love that. I'm hoping to get there at some point where I don't feel, I feel like I can move through the peloton and real close to people and not feel sketchy and not be concerned. But I'm definitely not there yet. So you can see I'm pretty far back in the pack here, and this is where I want to stay for as much as I can. We really haven't had an attack off the front yet, and so let's jump ahead to where there is one. Okay, so we've skipped ahead one lap, and you can see there's one rider now off the front. This is the first attack of the race, or first breakaway, and you can see no one jumped to follow it immediately, and so we're going to see that this attack's going to last about a lap and a half before the group just naturally catches back up, and so we're going to go ahead and skip ahead to about a lap and a half to where we catch this rider. Okay, so we've skipped ahead a lap and a half, and as we come to this hairpin turn, we saw that rider out in front kind of come through the other side there. So we're just a few seconds now behind him, and as we come through the hairpin, everyone hammers it. We see a group split to the right side to try to attack, and we're gonna see what ends up being about, I think, a group of 4 end up sticking into a little bit of a breakaway. Okay, and as we come around the bend here, you'll see one little speck way out there that just went off screen. That was still that breakaway rider who was out for a lap and a half, almost 2 laps now. He's still out in front by maybe by 4 seconds to that front group, and then there's a group of 4 up there. You can see everyone starts hammering it. This they want to bring back. When that lone rider went, people kind of sat up and didn't really try to chase him down. Here now, definitely that pace is expanding or increasing, and we don't want the gap to expand. Finally found a use for the word expand there. So I think what's interesting here now, as you look, is that group that attacked and then also that lone rider, it kind of blew up. And so now you see 2 riders up there. This one's getting brought back, and then an additional 2 riders off the back of that group of 4. And so the group of 4 is no more. It's kind of a couple of little groups. I think this was our lone rider out front for a while, so he's been brought back. I could be wrong. But definitely that pace is really increased here, and this attacking group is it's brought back. Maybe this actually, I think with the white helmet, I think maybe this was our rider. I don't know. One of these riders was that guy out front who was out alone for a while. But again, people are getting brought back, and a couple riders here, and now we just have a group of 2. Man, we still have all 4 of them out there, it looks like, but they're in two sets of 2. I don't know. Not much of a race analysis. I clearly don't know what I'm seeing. But, I didn't try to chase anybody down, making other people do the work for me. And so, again, another person goes by, and now I kind of hit it to catch back up. But it looks like everyone's going to get brought back. Enough people are really putting in an effort to chase down. So, I get back on this wheel. You can see, we're going to bring this group back. They're not going to get away at this point. Again, everyone's putting in enough effort to make sure that they don't get away. So, doing a little bit of work here to make sure that I'm on it. But, this breakaway's done. Just want to get back on a wheel and sit in and recover now. Kind of now that this group has been brought back, kind of the expectation is there's going to be another attack, and so I'm just going to sit here and we'll skip ahead to that next attack. Okay, so we've jumped ahead about half a lap here. Went through the start-finish line, made it the first right turn, and so as the group comes through here, what you can see is people kind of sit up for a second. The group overall just kind of slows down, and so it's gonna be a perfect time for an attack. And so there we see Jason go from my team. He's gonna go, and he's gonna end up bridging up to that rider who was alone, and they're gonna be in a 2-man break that ends up sticking and gaining quite a bit of distance here. No one immediately, there's a slight chase attempt here, but then that kind of falls back, and we really end up with 2 guys up the road for the majority, or really the rest of this race. And so we'll end up skipping ahead, but this really mirrors what happened in the Cat 4 race before. In that case, there was a Morning Cranks rider solo alone up the road, and what that meant for the other Morning Cranks rider was he was able to sit in the very back, rest, recover, do none of the work, and see if the group brought back his teammate. And so now I'm in that position where I can sit back, and if the group brings back Jason, I'm recovered and I can go for the sprint. And if they don't bring him back, then Jason has a chance to win, and so that's great. And so now this is more or less going to be my position for the rest of this race is sitting back here, making sure that for any group that tries to bridge, I stay with them, but definitely don't get really near the front at all. So we'll skip ahead a little bit here. Okay, so we've jumped ahead about 13 minutes, about 6 miles or so have gone by, so maybe 4 laps or so. Really not much happening in this race in that time. Again, just the group sticking together. There's 2 guys off the front, and just really the group on the front is just working to slowly bring back the 2 breakaway riders. No one trying to bridge or any attacks. Just slowly reeling them in, which again, like I said earlier, is perfect for me, right? I'm just sitting back here and trying to recover as much as possible and be ready for if they catch Jason, then I can try to go for a counterattack or a sprint right at the end.
We get spicy. I like
So there's actually nothing happening right here. I just wanted to keep this clip just because I found it funny, right? We're slowly reeling this guy in. We still have plenty of time, or the 2 people in, right? Jason and the other rider. We still have plenty of time, and this guy on the side tells the group to pick it up, and I laughed when I heard it. Willie got a little feisty. I thought it was funny. So, it's just one of these things where, again, like I said, nothing was happening for 12 minutes in this race, just slowly reeling it in. So it was kind of fun to have some sort of interaction or excitement happen, even if it had nothing to do with bike racing, and it was actually just a spectator telling us to pick it up. So, again, nothing really happening here. We'll skip ahead to the next set of action. Okay, so we've jumped ahead at about another lap and a half, and we're about at the 41-minute mark or so in the race, and so we're coming up to the start-finish line here, and another 0.2 miles or so, and that'll be 2 laps to go when we cross the start-finish line. And so at this point, I'm starting to think, okay, I need to, find the right wheels, find a train to get on, and try to get a good spot for the final sprint, because we are at this point that if we catch Jason and the other rider, which we're most likely going to do at this point, the gap has been coming down, then I need to be the one on the team to do a sprint finish, because the break didn't make it. And so, I'm on one of the base media wheels here, and so my thought process was, I had raced with one of the 2, Noah, in the earlier Cat 4 race. He had taken 3rd, and I had raced with him the day before in that elimination race, and so I knew he was strong. He was actually going to be leading out their other rider, their Cat 3 rider, who was going to do the sprint. And so, I knew that would be one train I could get on. They really were going to be going for that sprint. And so, that was the first wheel I kind of thought to get on, and I did that here. Let's get on the base media wheel, and maybe that's the wheel to run all the way to the sprint. I do switch a couple different trains here, just not knowing which one to jump on and who I wanted to stay with. And but that's kind of where my head was at throughout this whole lap. Was okay, which set of wheels do I want to really be on for this? So we're coming to the back straightaway, and okay, so I see this morning cranks. This morning cranks train start to get formed with 3 of them. So I say, maybe that's a better train to be on. That's one that, if they're this organized already, then that's good. And so I'm going to shut up here for a second and let this exchange happen. You'll see why here in a second.
You want to leave me out too? Alright. Woo! That might be better than coffee, Aaron. You're on my wheel, man.
So what we saw there was there ended up being a gap that opened up between 2 of the morning cranks riders. So I jumped on it and got in it. Aaron was not happy about that because that's taking his wheel and breaking up his train. He came and gave me a little knee to my thigh, woke me right up. He apologized afterwards. I laughed during it because I knew exactly what I was doing. I was jumping and breaking up their train because I wanted to get on it, and he should be pissed. Right? There's a lap and a half to go. And so right there, I'll just stop for a second to say, got squeezed. I thought I could slide in somewhere, and then I ended up actually hitting the back wheel of one of the guys. That was my fault. I tried to squeeze somewhere and didn't really quite have the bike handling skills to do it, and I hit it. It's unfortunate, but yeah. So Aaron was not happy again. Like I said, he apologized. I was not mad at all about it. I knowingly jumped onto his train, and he should be pissed about it. So I was totally fine with the move. Didn't affect me at all. Just like I said, I laughed during it, and I'm still laughing about it now. So he apologized multiple times, but it really wasn't a big deal. All right, so we're now at a lap to go. I am still on the back wheel of one of the morning cranks riders. So really just trying to feel out which train do I want to be on here. So we see another rider come through. I decided, I want to get a little further up. We're on the last one, so I go around. I come up here, and just trying to figure this out. Where do I want to go? I see the 2 base media guys now are together, and so I'm trying to get up to them. That's where I've decided I want to bridge up to at this point. Got 2 morning cranks riders here. They trying to put their train back together. Got riders coming to the right side there. So I need to move up. I'm too far back right now within the group. Again, need to get on a train. You can see that the 2 breakaway riders, including Jason, are up there, but are certainly about to get caught right here. And so since they're getting caught, I have to now be kind of be the one to do a sprint for the team. Yes, that was Aaron apologizing. He had thought that the last lap where he sort of got pissed at me was the last one. Again, even for a lap before, I clearly was interrupting his train. I think he has all the right to be upset about it. And so, okay, so we're coming into the final hairpin turn of the race. And so the morning crank riders are together, but they're kind of far back. It's time to just, hammer it and get up there. So I'm going, and still need to make up more space here. We do have the hill. The hill, is a spot where you can make up some more room. But it's time to be on somebody's train and try to pick the right one and get there. Okay, so Jason's floating back. Jason just got caught, so he's done now for the race. And so it's time to get into a good position and try to win this thing. Certainly, my legs were not excited about that being the prospect. I was hoping just to DNF in this race, but now it's time to try to get a result for the team. So I still see the 2 base media guys together, with Noah leading out the other rider. So I split the uprights here, and I get right on their wheel. I'm hoping this is the train to go to. This is a little bit, you're just roll the dice. You try to figure out who's going to be the right train to be on for the final sprint. I picked base medias. So I'm here. They're there. We're going to come around the last corner. And what we see here is that the 2 riders, I think they're an Ann Arbor club. They put the hammer down, and they start to create a gap here. And yeah, I get pushed a little bit to the outside, even away from Base Media's train. But you can see the gap was already formed. Base Media just wasn't able to stay with that Ann Arbor Club team. I go around Base Media for the final sprint, but those two riders, they were gone. We see a Michigan rider come in, and I end up taking 5th, which is a great result. First Cat 3-4 race I've ever been in. I had just raced 40 minutes earlier, and was able to win that one. And so, top 5 result, still great for this one. Had I known that I think they're an Ann Arbor club. I could be wrong on where they're from. But in the blue kit, had I known that they were as strong as they were, could I've gotten on their wheel instead, been able to go with them into that final sprint and go around them to take, second, first, whatever it could have been. Who knows? Maybe they would have dropped me because they surged there at the end. It was obviously a great effort by them, but I picked a wheel and I still got a good result. Could I have picked a different wheel? Maybe, but super fun race. Final race for me for the day. The M1 Cycling Classic was awesome, and thank you everyone for watching. Have a great one.